I'm Maria Toth, and I work at the Oliverian School in Pike, New Hampshire. Our school community would like to respectfully submit this video grant application for a schoolyard habitat grant. Oliverian is a small, independent, private boarding school that helps struggling students to grow and to find their place in the world. The school occupies a unique niche between traditional and therapeutic schools. We are a college preparatory high school with a very high staff-to-student ratio with an average academic class size of 5 students. Students have access to academic support, counseling and life skills support, as well as social skills support. As such, we are a hybrid school that combines the best of traditional, alternative, and therapeutic education for students who want support, but who also want to be in a normal high school environment. One of the unique offerings at Oliverian are pillar classes. Pillar class blocks are offered each morning ahead of academic class blocks. All students self-select pillar classes that fall under one of 3 pillars: adventure, art, and stewardship. Each quarter, the pillar class offerings change. Students here use the outdoors as a place for calming and centering themselves, but currently through adventure only. There is an evident need to grow the stewardship work the school does further, not only on the students' part, but the school's part as well. There is a need to help the students understand the impact and relationship between humans and the environment. One of the school's goals is to continue to develop our stewardship pillar, working to connect students to the outdoors, not just through adventure offerings, but by helping the students connect to and develop a better understanding of our impact on the land and the environment by what we do or fail to do. Many of the students talk about their concerns for climate change, and discussions I've had with them, they are starting to realize we can be a solution in our area. If we as a school and wider community are going to affect change, it has to be with this generation. But we as the adults around the students need to work to foster the engagement and commitment it takes to affect the change. But it also takes some work for the students to unengage from their tech and learn to enjoy the benefits of working with their hands and gardening. A garden's rewards are reaped over time, and the students will need to develop patience versus so many of the activities they engage in that provide instant rewards and gratification for their interactions, such as with gaming and social media.
I had the benefit of being involved in Oliverian first as Alex's parent and seeing the school through the lens of a parent with a child there, and then became the board chair, and now I'm the vice chair after my son graduated from Oliverian. So I've seen it in the past 15 years as through the lens of a board member. And both of those lenses have provided me with a view of Oliverian that I'm so privileged to have had and seen as the school has progressed and grown through the years. When Alex started, he was in the charter class, so it was a brand new school with a beautiful vision and a beautiful mission, which has pretty much remained the same. And a big part of that mission was, the outdoor adventure stewardship components. And I think I've seen clearly through my son's success at Oliverian and through the success of so many students, hundreds of students after him, the impact of nature and working outside has had throughout our school's history. My son very sadly passed away in a car accident when he was in college, and one thing we decided to do at Oliverian was to donate an outdoor classroom, because the outdoor education component of his time there had been so important. And it thrills me beyond belief to see the students still using that outdoor classroom to this day. I think when students are outdoors and working in the soil, improving their surroundings, they gain a sense of perspective about their place in the world, but it also enables them to understand, from an academic perspective, the science behind how things work, how the ecosystem works, how, doing one thing benefits so many other aspects of the ecosystem. And, really learning science through nature. It's just phenomenal how much more impactful that is than sitting in a classroom learning things from a science book. And that experiential nature of Oliverian, which has been present since the very beginning, the very inception of the school, is something you don't get in an ordinary school setting, and something that our students, the type of students that we attract at Oliverian, really need and benefit from. I think being out in nature, not only makes the academic experience so much richer, but also reduces the anxiety and stress that all students these days feel, but especially our students. I think they have come from a chaotic world that they don't necessarily understand or thrive in, and get to Oliverian with its beautiful surrounding mountains and woods and opportunities for experiential learning, and their stress level just decreases, their anxiety decreases, and their curiosity increases, and their understanding of the world increases. So it's just that outdoor experience I can't say enough about in terms of the effect I've seen that it's had on our students, hundreds of students throughout the years.
Maria, what drew you to this grant opportunity, and how do you feel it will impact our Oliverian community?
Well, I moved up to New Hampshire from Connecticut in August, expecting to see far more wildlife, plants, pollinators, and was really surprised how barren the campus is. And I know in Connecticut, when I switched over my garden to a native plant garden, it was amazing, the difference of the amount of pollinators, the increase in biodiversity. And as I walked through campus, I just saw so many places where we could put such a garden. And then the more I spoke to the students and discovered their interest and talked to the math teacher and the science teacher and our director of stewardship, I realized that there's a need on campus and an interest. And I walked the whole property with our landscaper in the community, Janine, and we picked a location out back where we feel like it's right there next to academic. It'll be much more likely to be utilized by the math, by science, by our pillar classes. So I'm very excited for the possibility of transforming the grass into something native that will draw more pollinators and wildlife to campus.
Maria, could you share a little bit about how this opportunity will impact our community, our wildlife, our school, our students, and why Oliverian needs and deserves this opportunity?
Yeah, yes, of course. In speaking with the students, the therapeutic nature of being outdoors has been expressed to me by a number of the students. Many of them find that it reduces their anxiety to be able to be outdoors, but they are looking for something that's not just adventure. And right now our stewardship is primarily adventure. And so they've expressed interest in being able to journal, being able to just sit out there and enjoy nature, watching pollinators. Some of them have just literally said nature is its own therapy. And we have a lot of students that could use the therapeutic benefits not only of the counseling services and social skills that they receive, but just being able to be out in nature and kind of reconnect.
I think if we had this, it would be a really nice place for students like me who like being out in nature and who like be surrounded with just the natural things around us, a good spot to hang out and to relax. I feel like a lot of areas around us are very busy, lots of people, and I think having an area like this where lots of natural plants, just lots of like life all around me would be very calming and would just make me feel good. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm a junior at Oliverian, and I want to share how I feel about this opportunity that we have to have a native garden, and what nature is saying. So I find being outside and being surrounded by nature really calming. It's provided me an incredible space to find a lot of, peace within myself, and a space where I can kind of exist how I want and be how I want, and not have too much to worry about. So the idea of Oliverian being able to have a native garden where we can help the native species around here thrive is really exciting. I think I'm in a class right now where we're talking about natural communities and learning about specific ecosystems and ones that are common in New Hampshire. And it's been really exciting to think about being able to see some of the plants that we learn about and like work with them and have an opportunity to kind of educate myself more and maybe other people and observe these natural processes like in action. I think that I love the idea of being part of a school that helps the environment that it takes up, and being able to build off that and help the animals too, maybe, and see what we can do with it and really go with it. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Sarah Feinberg. I graduated from Oliverian in 2010, and in 2019 I joined the Board of Trustees after a number of years of non-professionally being involved with the school. And now I'm on the board in the capacity of alumni relations and development, and just the general functioning of the school. I think this grant would be super beneficial to Oliverian as a community, to the students themselves, to staff themselves. So the first thing that stands out to me is actually the benefit of the students getting to see someone from the Department of Fish and Wildlife, or whoever's going to come out to help out if the garden gets granted, because they get to see firsthand somebody in that career, someone who's doing the thing, getting out there and doing something they're passionate about. And that can be really huge to teens who are in a position like me, only told they could do one thing, and realizing that there's a lot out there for them. And then, the garden itself, it's incredible that it's native species. It's going to help the complete environment out there. It helps students and staff bond doing a project together with their hands. It definitely helps students get outside more. That's something that's huge. The whole, not just a classroom, in a traditional building doing math, that this is just as important in my mind. And then the staff too. They get to bond with their students and they get to see this growth, and that's a big deal. It's kind of a metaphor to us as students there, that we grow over that time, and to be able to see that garden flourish. And then over the years, when alum come back and we do alumni reunions, on campus, because the physical space is such a big connection for us as students and former staff who leave. It's a really it's a special community where people come back no matter what they did there. You know, they could have been a student there, they could have worked in the kitchen, they could have been a dorm parent, it doesn't matter. Everybody feels so connected, and when we have these reunions, it's a full community reunion. So to be able to come back and then see that garden as it evolves over the years with new people, new students, new staff involved in it, I think that's really special.
This is our academic building, and when we were trying to consider our location for our native plant garden, we wanted to consider accessibility. We wanted to make sure that the students would use the space, that teachers would be encouraged to use this space. And so this is out back of our academic area. And we know it has the generator, but we thought we could plant around that. And what we foresee as the garden unfolds is that the students are going to design it, help to dig it, help to plant it. But down the line, probably in our second year of the grant, if we're funded, we would like to see a connection to our math teacher and engineering and have students come up with designs and build benches so students could journal or use it when they're outdoor in classes. We would like to see some pollinator homes created, bat boxes, and we thought the math and engineering class could work on that. For science connections, our science teacher could use this easily as an outdoor lab for collecting data, for learning about photosynthesis and things like that. And for sustainability, we were really concerned about access to water. We don't want this to be one person's responsibility. We thought if it started with proximity to the school and the students are engaged and regularly using it, it will also help them to continue to sustain the garden and take care of it.
All right, hi, I'm Kate Lewis. I'm one of the math and science teachers here, and I teach engineering and physics, also chemistry and calculus. And I'm really excited about the garden project because it would allow my students to have hands-on building opportunities. So I could see the engineering class building benches, or maybe we could pair up with the biology class and build bat boxes because we've seen bats in the area. So it's lots of very practical, hands-on engineering projects for my students.
And how will the community surrounding Oliverian be involved in this project?
Actually, interestingly, there are two people in particular who've expressed interest in helping us. One of them is Janine, who works in landscaping here for the school, but she has her own company and has been interested in helping transform Oliverian into more native plant gardening. And then I happened to go to one of the landscape companies in town looking for some native plant books to help me further my knowledge and help the students for their knowledge. And one of the staff members there said, I drive right by your school, I live there, I would love to help out or come poke in and see what else we can do or recommendations we can make. So I've discovered that it's pretty easy to involve our community, and they seem very interested in helping us turn over our gardens to native plant gardens.
My name's Janine, and I am the flower lady at the Oliverian School. And when this project was put in front of me, I thought, what a great thing for the kids to be involved in. A pollinator garden would incorporate your sciences, your design, your art class, and they have a lot of apple trees and other things on the property that I think beneficially, you'd have an ecology program around it. I am so excited about it that I think the kids will love it. And by the time the first class gets done, graduating, the next class that comes in can start another one all over again in another place. I think it would be a beautiful, beautiful thing for the school to do and have.
And how will the students take part in the design and the completion of this project?
What I've discovered about our students is the more ownership you give of any of the classwork or projects to them, the more pride they take in their work, and they go even further than what I've expected. And as the kids are getting more excited about this project, I've heard some of them talking about the design they'd like. Some are talking about not knowing a lot about plants, and would we be able to take some time to research them, and what would grow well in our climate, and who could we talk to. So there's a lot of interest in the kids to own this and take this on and make it theirs, and something that they can then be proud of, that they've done from start to finish, just with some adult support.
And what are Oliverian's plans in order to complete this project within the 2-year period?
You know, I really think that first year is going to be a lot of researching, planning, considering designs, getting input from New Hampshire Fish and Game and the other organizations involved with that to make sure we're in the right direction for what we're thinking of for design, making sure the soil is just right, considering our water sources. And then in the second year, we would like the students to be involved with pillar classes that are around native gardening and making benches, the vertical stands for solitary pollinators, science classes coming out and using the outdoor space as a lab. So we're hoping that the 2 years we will be able to accomplish all those things, but then continue our work on the garden and maintaining it. In summary, we thank you for considering the Oliverian School for the Schoolyard Habitat Grant. This will be therapeutic in nature for many of our students who are discovering that not just adventure is a way to connect, but actually getting their hands dirty, working in the soil, bringing native plants to our school, and then the pollinators and wildlife that follow. It is in and of itself its own therapy, and the students are starting to realize not everything needs to be about tech or the instant gratification, that it's very helpful to get their hands dirty, and it's also very satisfying to get their hands dirty in this gardening. So we look forward to your support and to starting our garden with you. Thank you.